Hey everybody. Hey yo. All right. So no golf today. Actually, I went and changed my driver's license over from a US to a Filipino driver's license. And I wanted to go through some of the process. I read a lot of things online. I belong to a lot of Facebook groups, expat Facebook groups, and they kind of go over it. But I thought I'd go over it because this applies also. My wife's Ellen's here. She's a dual citizen. She got hers about 6 months ago, and she kind of, even though she's a dual Filipino citizen, she went through the conversion process because I remember asking her why, and I'll explain it to you why it's easier if you're a dual citizen to just convert your license instead of just starting from scratch. So the first thing, we're in Talisay City, which is right next to Cebu City. So there's LTO's, the Land Transportation Office. There's one in SM Seaside, right? There's one in Talisay and one in Mandawi. If you're from here, you know the area. There may be others, but we know them three for sure. So, excuse me, we went to Talisay, which is, if you're familiar with Cebu South Road, Robinson's. It's in the Robinson Shopping Center, not the one that's right over the border of Cebu City by Casano. The one that's about a mile and a half down the road from that one.
It's the Lawaan area.
Lawaan?
Lawaan Talisay.
Lawaan Talisay. It's right on Cebu South Road. It's a one-stop shop. This is what I needed. Okay, so I had to go there. I had to have a copy of my U.S. driver's license. I had to have a copy of the front page of my passport. I had to have a copy of when I entered the Philippines in my passport. Now, speaking of, if you're asking, well, Dwayne, why are you doing all this? You can drive on a foreign driver's license here in the Philippines for 90 days. After 90 days, it's no good. Now you're taking a chance. You could stop somebody if a traffic enforcer asked you, or when did you come in the country? God forbid you said 4 months ago. Then he knows your license is no good. So I decided I'm going to be here almost 5 months this time. I'm coming back next year for 6 months. Let me go through this process. So also I had to have a copy of my marriage certificate. And I think that has to do it because I have a balikbayan visa. What that means is because I arrived with Ellen, she's a dual citizen, I get a year's stay here. Where if I just come by myself, anybody shows up in the Philippines, it's 30 days. Then you have to file through the Bureau of Immigration extensions, but I have a year visa because I'm married to a Filipino citizen. So I had to have a copy of my marriage certificate. So when you go to LTO, we arrived at 8 o'clock in the morning. They open at 8. And let me tell you, I saw something real neat. I didn't get a chance to film it because it was happening just when we were getting out of the truck. LTO is, obviously, it's a government agency. They were all lined up in formation. There was probably 20 of them. All lined up in formation. Prayer was said. And then a lady sung the Filipino national anthem. This is outside. This wasn't inside. This is outside, like in the parking lot area. And a lady sung the national anthem. And just like in the U.S., the national anthem was being played. Everybody milling about, not just the worker, stopped. They stopped. Even myself, I stood at attention, put my hand over my heart, and faced the music. I thought that was kind of neat. I wish I had an opportunity to film. Like I said, it was happening as soon as we got out of the truck, and by the time we realized what was happening, I didn't want to. It was too late to pull out my camera, but I thought that was interesting. So, 8 o'clock, we go in, we see this gentleman in the LTO office. We wanted to verify we have all the paperwork. That took about a minute, right, Ellen? Ellen up there. He said, "What do you say?" He goes like, "Well, you got everything."
Yeah, because I was ready. Like, I knew all the requirements before we went there.
The next thing you got to do is you got to get a medical certificate. So it's a one-stop shop. Right above, if you go to this location, right above the LTO office on the second floor of this shopping center, it's an outside shopping center, if you will, is the medical office.
It's called Garnet Medical Office.
Garnet Medical Office. Garnet Medical Office. Got to talk a little louder if you can. I went up there. Now we waited probably 45 minutes to get called. That cost 550 pesos. In U.S. terms, it's about $10, somewhere around there, to get a medical. Now that was pretty. So I go there, and if you read the requirements, and it's on the wall, I'm supposed to give vitals. My temperature check. Go over and get a physical. I walked in, the nurse said, "Here's your paper. Go see the doctor." Because I checked, they checked, is anything wrong with you? I had all no's. No heart attacks. I have no conditions. I'm in fairly good health. So I go back to see, after 45 minutes, I go see the doctor. The doctor was like, anything wrong with you? No. You wear glasses? No. Okay. So we were good to go. So now you take your medical certificate, all those documents I said you have to have. You go back now to the LTO office, and you go with the guy that checks to make sure you still have everything. Then he takes you to another guy. Now realize this is all paper. Nothing's in computers. This is all paper. He goes to another worker. He says, "Okay, we have everything. Have a seat." So now there's probably 60 people in here. Again, the medical office. Let me get back to the medical office. We got in the medical office at 8:20 a.m. It was already 30 people in there. And I'm like, wow. But it only took about 45 minutes till we were seen and we were out. So when we went back down to the LT office, down waiting I have all my paperwork. It's turned in. They call your name to pay. I had to pay 785 pesos, which is about $13.40. And then I had to sit down again. They finally call your name. You go up there, you get your picture taken, fingerprints, right on the spot. So I get my picture taken, I get all my fingerprints, and while you're waiting there, which I kind of thought was different in the U.S., because in the U.S. you got to go sit back down, you wait till they call you. But if they took the picture, did my fingerprints, and bam, there it is. I am an official driver of the Philippines with my Filipino driver's license. All in, it probably took 2.5 hours.
All in, yes.
All in 2.5 hours. Could we have shaved 20 minutes? Maybe. If we went right to the medical. But we wanted to be sure we had all the paperwork. Because, again, anybody that's dealt with anything in the Philippines, you're missing one thing, it all starts over. Okay, so 6 months ago, Ellen was here in the Philippines. We were both here. I was only here briefly. Ellen came down, was staying for a few months, so she decided to apply for a Filipino driver's license. Again, she's a dual citizen. So she also needed a copy of U.S. passport, the front section, Filipino passport, the front section, whichever passport you used on entry to show date of entry. Even though she is a citizen, she has no time frame. She can stay here forever. For whatever reason, they wanted that. Or at least they didn't tell her they didn't need it. And also a copy of her U.S. driver's license. I asked you, Ellen, I said, why did you have to go through all this? You're a Filipino citizen. She said, if I didn't convert a U.S. license, I would have to start from the beginning. Take the exam, take the driving test, just like you just started out as a new driver. So for you dual citizens out there, this is the easiest way. Just convert your license.
That doesn't mean, you're going to give up your U.S. license. No, you still have it.
Yes. It's a good, Ellen, you brought up a good point.
I was thinking, I said, what? Converted to Filipino license? I want to keep my U.S. license.
Don't get confused on this word convert. All they do is, they convert your U.S. license to a Filipino license. They don't take you get it back.
Yeah, you keep it.
You keep it. As a matter of fact, they never get a hold of it because all you did was give them a copy. So Ellen did the same thing, and so bing, Filipino driver's license. So for all the duals out there, this is the road to go. Again, I think you told me it was about 2 hours, same time frame,
right?
Same money. So you have 785 pesos. Now you can do again. We did this in Talisay. It was a one-stop shop. I know. I read online from expats that go to SM Seaside. You go to LTO there. There's a medical somewhere in the mall. I've never done it, but I understand it's just as easy. But don't be afraid of the process. It was fairly simple. We did more waiting than anything else. It was pretty packed and it moved. If you've been to, I know in New Jersey, I'm from New Jersey, we live in New Jersey. If you go to DMV, MVC, whatever you want to call it, motor vehicles, it's the same. I mean, the place is packed, you're waiting. And for not doing this computerized, yes, the license is computerized, but for not all the paperwork's handwritten, and they put the stamps on it, like the copies. It works pretty effectively. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yes.
It works pretty effectively. So there is how to get a Filipino license. Like I said, quick, harmless. Again, with money wise, 10 plus 14, about 25 hours. Oh, if you are a dual vehicle, and I say I have a regular vehicle license. Actually, I want to get a motorbike license. You can only do one at a time. Because you check on their sheet. What are you getting a license for? Car, truck, heavy truck, motorcycle. I wanted to do both, and they're like, no, one at a time. You have to come back, and according to their portal, because I didn't ask, after 30 days, I can apply again for a motorbike license. So.
Oh, if they want to apply for driver's application for driver's license, you can do it online too at lto.ph.
LTOportal.ph, right?
ltoportal.ph, correct.
Don't get tied up on it. Look, I looked that up. Matter of fact, I looked it up actually again before we started video. There's a lot of requirements on there. You go to the ltoportal.ph and look how to convert your license from whether it be U.S., Australian, wherever. I mean, they're talking about a lot of stuff on there. I know I didn't have to do that. I mean, they're talking about a lot of things you got to do, and I'm like, I didn't do any of that. Maybe it was more the medical. Like I said, that medical, I think all in, I was there 5 minutes between, yes, waiting 45, but other than that, see the nurse, took the paper, go see the doctor. Okay, you're good. I didn't have to read a chart, nothing. He goes, you wear glasses? I said, no, only when I read. Okay. And that was it. But they do ask you medical questions on the paper. Again, mine were all no. So that didn't, I guess that helped. I hope this was informational. I hope you learn. Again, for the dual citizens, piece of cake. And Ellen, like I said, Ellen said, don't start like, I'm a Filipino citizen, I was going to go get my license. Yeah, be prepared to take the exam. Really just convert whatever license.
Don't get the student permit. No way.
The one thing they did say, if you're coming from a country that doesn't have your original country's license in English, it's got to be translated in English.
Yeah.
You know, for the Australians, the Brits, or the Americans, I guess whoever. But I guess if you were coming from a country, if I was coming from Brazil, their license isn't in English. If I came here from Brazil and I had a Brazilian license, I have to get that translated in English. That is definitely one of the requirements. And make a copy of that translation along with the copy of the license. Well, hey, till next time, Ayo Golf and Travel, we're trying to expand what we do here. Ellen, thanks for being on.
Any comments?
Make comments.
Down below.
Hit like, subscribe, share, make a comment. Till next time, and when you're driving in Philippines, pay attention to the road. Don't take your eyes off it.
Be patient.
Be patient. Take care.
That's the key.